So SportsIllustrated.com made its list of its teams that could realistically win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they had teams like, obviously, the 49ers and the Eagles and the Bengals on that list, and obviously the Chiefs. But one of the teams that definitely shocked me to see was the New England Patriots.
Now, who would you put in their spot then? If they're number 12 on the list, they're the last out of the 12, who would you put in there besides them?
First of all, I wouldn't have...
Tell me, who are you going to put in there?
I would have made it 12
the Dolphins?
teams. I would have made it 12 teams.
How many would you make
that's
it?
damn near... That's like half the league. That's 4 teams outside of the half the league. So say half the league can make it to the Super Bowl? I think it's a bit unfair there. Realistically, it's the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Eagles, the Bills. I think the Chargers, I do not...
Aren't there 12 playoff spots?
There's 14 because it's 7 and 7. So
there's 14 playoff spots.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, usually, it's not, though the 5, 6, and 7 seed are generally not Super Bowl contenders. They somehow made the... I guarantee you, the Eagles, or I'm sorry, the Seahawks were not Super Bowl contenders last year. They made the playoffs. If the Lions or the Packers made it to the playoffs, they would not have been Super Bowl favorites or Super Bowl contenders. Yet they made it. So I really think the teams that have the highest chance of winning the Super Bowl are probably the I wouldn't include the Bills is a major question mark for me. I think their Super Bowl window is shut. But for me, it's 49ers, Bengals, Eagles, Chiefs, and I'll throw the Bills in there. I will throw the Bills in there. Those are the only 5 teams I think have a genuine shot, I guess. The Bills are a major question mark. I would probably... Here's the thing. I don't trust Dak. If Dak just toned the turnovers a little bit, I'd be more intrigued to giving them a higher shot, but he's horrible. The Jets, if they get Dalvin Cook, could be in that window. But here's the thing. The Ravens, Lamar, we haven't seen him play in January in what seems like
2 years.
Yeah, he just doesn't play, gets hurt all the time. The Chargers, I do not trust their head coach. The Browns, no. Do I need to explain it? Just no. Their quarterback, Deshaun Watson looked rusty as hell. We don't know what exactly is going on with that offense. The defense, I think, could be a big question mark. Their head coach is on the hot seat. The Lions, their defense is too bad. I would hope the Lions would be Super Bowl contenders. Their defense is too bad. They have an honorable mention of the Rams here. They don't have a defense. They went all offense. So, like I said, the Cowboys. If Dak just toned the turnovers down, it wasn't such a klutz. We saw him in the playoff game. Brock Purdy and that team gave the game away to the Cowboys, and Dak literally threw the game away. Like, the 49ers should not have played the Eagles in the championship game. It should have been the Cowboys and the Eagles in the NFC championship game. But Dak threw it away. So if Dak was just a little bit smarter in those big games, they would be in the top 5.
He's still not that old. I mean,
obviously not old, but his decision making, at least the past couple of years, turnover has been abysmal.
More experience.
Well, apparently he said he's going to tone the turnovers down a lot, which
good. He should do that anyway.
Obviously,
why would anyone say I'm going to have more turnovers next year? Toning them down is the right thing to say. And what you got to do if you're going to the quarterback, you can't be turning the ball over all the time.
No, obviously, but I think Dak played 12 games he played 11 games, or he played 12 games and led the league in interceptions. That's what I'm like. Okay, just take a chill pill. But really, I'm going to ask you. Do you really think the Patriots deserve to be on a list of Super Bowl contenders?
I do.
Really?
Yeah, well, look at some of the other teams that are here. The Browns are on this list. Do I think they're a Super Bowl contender? No, I don't.
They have a win-loss of 9.5 projected. That blew my mind. Yeah. We talked about it.
How can that be? I don't get that. And also, the Lions, I got to say, their defense is a sieve last year. I mean, they improved it a little bit near the end of the season, but I don't think that they're a Super Bowl contender, really. I mean, maybe they can make the playoffs, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. I just think, the Patriots, I think, are better than they were last year. They won 8 games last year. They could grind out 10 wins somehow, get into the playoffs if Mac Jones is, on a streak and playing well. With the smart offensive coordinator and Belichick's defense, hey, I wouldn't count them out.
I will say this, though. I'm looking at their past schedule, and you said 3 potential wins last season. In reality, It could
3 potential wins. What?
that they lost last season. They could have.
Oh
had 3
yeah,
more.
there were 3 wins. So there were 3 games that were given away by the players.
I'm looking at this right now. It could have been 4. It could have been 4. If Ramondre Stevenson doesn't fumble against the Bengals, I believe they were in the red zone late in the game.
They were, that 4-yard line.
Yeah, so he fumbled and gave that game away. Against the Vikings, Mac Jones had a phenomenal game. You had special teams blunders, maybe because your special teams coordinator was the quarterback coach. I obviously have to say that. The Raiders, Jacoby Myers literally threw that game away. And we have to remember.
No, there was another game where, what's the guy's name? He was a wide receiver that they got rid of.
Jacoby Myers?
No, the other guy. He used to play for the Eagles.
Oh, Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson Aguilar. He threw a game away too. They knocked the ball out of his hand. They were driving down for the winning score with just a minute or 2 left. Right. And he fumbled the ball. There were 4 games that they could have won.
I'm not sure what game that it could be this game, but I'm also saying Bailey Zappi's first game against the Packers. That was a 3-point loss.
5 games that they could have won and they lost. So they won 8. They could have won 13 games.
Well, the reason why I say 5 because those are all 1-score. Here's 1-score games. And actually, my 5th game, your potential 6th game, is if the Patriots on 2 kickoffs didn't give up the 2 Nyheim Hines runbacks.
That's crazy. How could that happen?
Well,
to a Bill Belichick coach team. How did that happen?
I mean,
2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in 1 game?
And that legitimately was the difference in that game.
It was.
That's 14
points right there.
It would have been 23-21 in favor of the Patriots. So the Patriots could have had, 13 wins?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's... Well, actually, yeah. For you, it's 14 wins. If you're saying that Nelson Aguilar game, which...
Yeah, he blew that.
I'm not sure what game you're talking about.
I think it was like game 3, the third game of the
That would have been the Ravens game. They lost by 11 there.
Yeah.
So it may have been that. But I'm talking about the 1-score games where they genuinely had a chance to win there. The Buffalo Bills game was a 12-point game. But like I said, they had 2 kick return touchdowns, which doesn't happen really at all. So going into this season, once again, let's take a look at this infamous start to their schedule, which would scare most teams. You start off with the Eagles. That's a loss. I don't care if you had D-Hop or not. That's a loss. Miami.
I think they're going to win that game, Nate.
Tua is undefeated against
No, I'm talking about game 1.
Eagle.
I think they're going to beat the Eagles because Tom Brady's there that game. It's going to be honoring him.
Wow.
People are going to be fired up, and I think Patriots are going to upset the Eagles in game 1.
I think that's pushing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Tua is undefeated against Belichick. But Jalen Ramsey is out till December.
How many years has it been since the Patriots won a game in Miami? This is the year they're going to win one.
Okay.
2-0.
The Jets with Aaron Rodgers. You can't have Zach Wilson throw 4 interceptions to Devin McCourty and throw that game away. So I don't know if you could go out and win that one. The Cowboys.
Bill Belichick hasn't lost to a Jets team in how many years?
I believe it's 7.
7 years. They're 3-0.
Oh my God, the Cowboys.
Maybe they lose that one.
Maybe. Saints with
Saints are going to win that
brand
game.
New quarterback Derek
Saints are going to win that game. Raiders are going to win that game. There's 5 wins.
Okay, at home against the Bills.
At home against the Bills. I hate to say they're going to lose that game, but probably.
At home? Wow. Yeah. Okay, I'm shocked. That's the one. At Dolphins in Miami. The first one was at Patriots. This Dolphins game is now at Dolphins.
Oh, I think they'll win that game.
So you say Dolphins sweep? Patriots sweep.
This is the year that they're going to solve the mystery of the Dolphins.
What do you think Sam Howell upsets the Patriots?
No, that's 7 wins.
What about Anthony Richardson?
They're going to beat him too.
You're on a bye week. Danny Dimes.
You know what? Belichick has a tough time against the Giants. He lost 2 Super Bowls to them, and in the regular season, with Brady, those games were close. That's a close game.
Danny Dink and Dunk.
I'm going to give it to the Patriots.
Okay, the Los Angeles Chargers with Brandon Staley.
They're going to beat him. 10 wins right there already.
Kenny Pickett? Will they Kenny pick him off?
That's at I think they lose that
Steelers.
One. Yeah. I think they lose against the Chiefs.
Against the greatest quarterback of all time?
I think they beat the
Russ Bus,
the Broncos. I think they upset the Bills.
At Bills?
Yeah, at Bills.
Oh, my God. Yeah. And then you have versus Jets.
I think they win that one, to sure. So they're going to win 12 games.
So you're saying So they win 12 games. They
I might be wrong. I
their
might
division.
be wrong again.
They sweep their division. I don't know about that. I think the most I would give you is they split against the Dolphins.
Don't you think they can win 10 games, though? I think there's 10 wins there for them.
Here's the thing. What version of this offense am I getting?
You got to be better than last year, right? They won 8 games last year, and the offense has to be better than last year.
You would
There's
think
no way it can be worse. They had no coaching of it last year, right?
10 scripted passing
And
plays
their
for 17
offensive
weeks.
line was nowhere near what it can be this year.
Well, their offensive line is going to be the big thing. In the red zone, they couldn't block for the life of them. They could not block for the life of them. And now I saw earlier today a bunch of would-be sacks because you can't sack the quarterback, would-be sacks, a lot of pressures. Mac Jones had to roll out a lot of the time, and Mac Jones, at least throughout the red zone portion of training camp so far, rolling out, that's where he threw a couple of his interceptions so far. So this offensive line is the big question mark for them. But I think at the most, I would give them split against the Dolphins, and bro, they had to get lucky. They split against the Jets. I do not see them beating the Bills because they can't stop the Bills.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it took them a game and a quarter for them for the Bills to finally punt. Like
I know.
It's bad.
It was bad. I agree.
Now the question is though, will Jacoby Myers be the savior of the Patriots this year? Well,
that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Will Jimmy G give him the ball in a tie game and he throws it back?
Maybe he'll throw it back for an interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, Mac Jones comes onto the field and takes it back. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if they're Super Bowl contenders, but we have to realize though. I didn't really think about this until I started looking back.
They're definitely a playoff contender. I think they're a playoff contender, Nate.
But here's
they always are.
Well, no, here's what's
they always are. They went right even with the Cam Newton and Mac Jones with the lousy coaching staff last year. They had a chance to get into the playoffs.
They did have a chance. Yeah. But I will give you this. When Mac Jones had, competency on the offensive side, at one point in the season, I completely forgot about this. I'm going to be honest. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC. They were the number 1 seed, above the Chiefs, above the Bengals, above the Bills, above everybody. They were the number 1 seed. Now, that season turned out to be the Titans ended up being the number 1 seed, which I don't know how the hell that happens. We saw what Ryan Tannehill did in the playoffs. I believe wasn't the first pass was an interception, something like that. I think there were 3 picks in that game. So, Mac Jones, Ryan Tannehill, you tell me. But Super Bowl contention, I really think is like pushing it. I mean, like we're talking about a team that just came off an 8-9 season. Mac Jones now has moved to the 23rd to 3rd. I've seen him between 23rd and 27th best quarterback in the league, and some of them I've seen him be 30th. So he has fallen off a cliff from being the 15th, 16th best quarterback.
Well, this is the year that he has to prove that he's really capable.
And that's where I think D-Hop would have been the perfect catalyst to determine, is Mac Jones terrible, or is it just he has a terrible offense around him? Because if Mac Jones is 2022 Mac Jones with a receiver like D-Hop, we know, Mac Jones isn't cut out to be a starter in this league. Or if Mac Jones throws for 4,500 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 10 picks, they make the playoffs and win 10, 11, 12 games with D-Hop, we know, Belichick just screwed him over with subpar talent, with the 20th ranked wide receiver core, and now Bill Barnwell ranks it as the 26th wide receiver core. So I think that's where D-Hop is, and because Belichick didn't want to pay him that top dollar, they wanted more incentive-riddled contract. D-Hop now is on the Tennessee Titans with Ryan Tannehill, or potentially, if Ryan Tannehill either gets hurt or plays terrible, we could see either Malik Willis or Will Levis. So the Titans right now, the Titans are not a better team than the Patriots. I think that's upfront the truth. The Patriots have a better defense. They don't have a better running game. Top down wide receiver core talent, top to bottom, I think is better. They do have a better wide receiver 1, but like the next highest,
I think they have a better quarterback. I hate to say this, but I think they have a better quarterback. Right? I mean, they're better than Ryan Tannehill. Don't you think that Mac Jones is better than Ryan Tannehill?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I would argue. But people just go look at last season and be like, no, he's not
last season's an anomaly.
That's what I'm saying. I think we did it with Trevor Lawrence. We gave Trevor Lawrence the benefit of the doubt. The Urban Meyer situation was a disgrace, one of the worst.
That's a good analogy. If Sean
Payton is upset about Nathaniel Hackett's job, I wonder what he thinks about Urban Meyer. What he did, 3-13, and made.
Yeah, right. He was in a strip club.
He was doing things a head coach should not be doing.
Right.
And besides, with Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence was projected to be he was the number 1 rated quarterback in high school, number 1 rated quarterback in college. He was supposed to be this generational quarterback, and Mac Jones outperformed him. Davis Mills outperformed Trevor Lawrence in his rookie year. And we say, you know what? Just bad coaching job. We're going to throw it away. With Doug Peterson, this is his true year 1. And
it could be the same thing for Mac Jones in year 3.
And I think now, because we saw Mac Jones last year, and Bailey Zappi actually showed some competency at times, not overall, but he did have a couple of good games. The Browns was a good game. The Lions, but the Lions was defense. They were up against a terrible defense, and then the Patriots defense.
The defense suffocated.
They allowed 0 points in that game, and I think allowed a fumble return touchdown. I think Kyle Duggar brought in for a touchdown. So yes, while Bailey Zappi looked good, like everyone's chanting Zappi. They didn't have a coach. They had a special teams coordinator and defensive coordinator be the QB coach and offensive play caller, who reportedly designed 10 passing plays for 17 weeks. What? Me and you could design more than 10 plays for an offense in the NFL. It didn't make any sense. So I think with Bill O'Brien, it at least, even if they're not truly a better offense, it provides some confidence to know an offensive guy is calling offensive plays. Yeah. It gives some confidence to say they at least have the right guy calling the right stuff. Now, if it doesn't turn out,
maybe he can put the right players in the right positions to make the plays.
We got to see.
Give the team a chance.
Kendrick Bourne needs to be out there way more.
We'll see.
Tyquan Thornton can't be playing more than Kendrick Bourne. Demario Douglas, the 6th round rookie, he's shocking people in training camp right now. Your guy Keyshawn Boutte may be his Boutte may be out the door. We have to wait and see. But I think Demario Douglas may get that 5th wide receiver spot. If we're talking, Juju, and then we get Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, Tyquan. That 5th may be Demario Douglas. But we'll obviously have to wait and see. Super Bowl, though, you would have to go through the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Jets. I think it's going to be tough, but Belichick knows defense. The defense, at least now, has been very good so far in training camp. That at least,
if they can stay healthy.
Yeah,
they got to stay healthy. That's important.
Matt Judon and the Patriots need to resolve that.
And they need the quarterback play to be very good. They're going to have great quarterback play. They're going to have to stay healthy, and they can't have the players making dumb mistakes like they did last year.
Well, that's the thing. Mac Jones' rookie year, he had that I guess 2/3 the last third of the season he was not great.
Yeah,
and yet they still made the playoffs. So maybe you don't need great quarterback play. Because in a Bill Belichick system, at least now, I think you just need to be good enough because he'll run the ball way more. He threw 3 passes in that Bills game. You just need to be good enough. And Belichick...
I think in that game, you know what? I think in that game when he only threw 3 passes, he hurt Mac Jones' confidence. I think because Mac Jones didn't play that well after that for a while.
Could that be one of the seeds that was planted to what last year was? Going behind Belichick to figure out what the hell's wrong with the offense and getting help instead of going to Belichick.
Maybe.
Could that have been the one? You didn't trust me, so why should I trust you?
Yeah.
That could have been it. It's speculation. That's what I love about sports. You can speculate about a lot of stuff. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.